Good evening and welcome to the Sky Spirit channel. How are you doing? Feels strange to be saying good evening because I've only ever done these in the morning, but I thought it would be really useful to do an Friday evening forecast for the next couple of days, so for the weekend ahead. If you found this stream at a later date, I always believe that if the algorithm has brought you here, perhaps there's something you need to hear. So there could be that there is a message for you. Remember that in the spiritual world, the alternative world, then time is not linear. So you're not restricted to, okay, this reading's for this energy's for this. When you need it, you will find it. At least that's what I like to think. Okay. If you've got any different ideas, then just let me know in the chat. It'd be really interesting to hear what you think. Right, so we're going to have a look at the weekend ahead. It's actually a quarter moon at the moment, which can feel a little bit stressful for people because it's when things start to happen at the new moon, and then by the quarter moon they're sort of progressing, but there can be some stress and some discord and some almost like chaos around this time a little bit. So if you're feeling a little bit sketchy at the moment, then just look to the skies and realize that it is a quarter moon, and that sometimes does have a little effect like that. Right, so for the weekend ahead, if you'd like to choose a number between 1 and 12, and we'll see what the tarot has got to say about your weekend ahead. Okay, let's lay the cards out. If you have got any questions, then please just feel free to put them in the chat. And if you're watching this at a later date, which I'm aware most people are, then you can email them to naomi@skyspirit.co.uk. Please subscribe to the channel. It really does help, and it's going to convince me to keep going with this little project of mine. So if you're enjoying the content, just subscribe for me and that'd be brilliant. Right, so without further ado, let's have a look and see what the cards have got to say about your weekend ahead. I'm going to read them in random order, so pick a number between 1 and 12, and your intuition has guided you to this advice from the cards. Okay, number 3. Number 3 is the 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles is about using a talent or using a skill and being recognized for doing so. So it's like something that you've been doing, something that you're talented at is finally going to give you recognition. So it's quite literal to say that it's work, but it can also apply to something that you've been putting a lot of energy into. So perhaps you've been putting energy into a relationship or a situation, even doing home improvement, something like that, then you're going to be recognized for this achievement over the coming couple of days. So it's like the people involved have finally seen that what you're doing is really working out. So this is a really positive card. It's about achieving and receiving those awards from putting your talent to good use. If you can look at the picture here, the illustration has got this guy, and he's what's he doing? He's sort of chopping away at something there. It's oh god, I forget what it's called. My head's gone totally blank. Carving. He's a stonemason, that's it, and he's sort of doing his thing, and he's actually, the gateway here indicates that he's going forward into new things, into greater things. So this is you. It's about using those skills, and the gateway is open to progress further and to move on to big things. So it's a really good card. We'll now go to number 1. Number 1, you've got the Knight of Cups reversed. Now, knights are often about energy moving into your life or events and then moving out of your life. So it can be that things are happening quickly. When it's a cup, it's about emotions, so it's likely about relationships. And because this card is reversed, it's likely that this is indicating that there is a obstacle, there's a sort of sticking point in a relationship. So this card could indicate that there are some problems on that sort of side of things. So it's almost like you're there's obstacles and frustrations within a personal relationship, and it's sort of coming to a head. So if you've chosen number one, then just be aware of that influence and that energy around you. What I always say is forewarned is forearmed. So you can watch out for this sort of energy happening, and sort of conflicts or people, just not working out right. So if this is your card, then take a step back and think about perhaps not reacting immediately to situations on an emotional level, because as nights come in quickly, they also leave quickly. So you'll find by the end of the weekend that this energy will have galloped off into the distance, and there'll be something new for you as well. Number two, you have the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is a beautiful card. It's about relationships. It's about new relationships. It's about harmony and just feeling happy in relationships. It's if you're single, this is a brilliant time for you to attract that new love that you've been looking for into your life. It also indicates that if you've been sort of waiting to hear from somebody, so if somebody's not really responding to your messages, or if you're getting that hot and cold, not sure where they're going energy from them, then this card will indicate that that's changing. That emotional blockage has moved forward, it's been cleared, and things are going to look up in this particular sort of area for you over the weekend. So you could find that, your messages are getting answered. People are more open to your way of thinking about some kind of relationship. So if this is you, number two, let me know in the comments if this resonates with you. But it really is a great card for moving a relationship forward. If you're already in a relationship, what this card could mean is that this is a great time to have that time where you're just doing couples stuff and it feels really good, and you're just enjoying each other's company, and everything seems to click really nicely between you. So beautiful card for a fantastic weekend. Okay, number 12, you have the Ace of Wands. Now, aces are always about new beginnings, and wands are about energy and projects and inspiration. So this is saying that you have got the energy of inspiration around you this weekend. It's like you're unstoppable. There's something that's been on your mind that you'd like to start doing, or something that you'd like to get involved with. And this card is telling you to go for it over this weekend, because it's like the planets have aligned to make this, a really, really successful thing, a thing that's going to give you a lot of joy moving into the future. So if you've chosen number 12 for your card, the advice from the card is to step forward bravely and sort of go for it in that respect with this new project or this new energy that you're pushing through. Number 11, you have Strength. Strength is a major arcana card. When it's a major, you're looking at big life changes. When it's minor, we're talking about little life events. When it's major, these are big, shifting, seismic, new paradigms, things like that. Strength is an interesting card because it's strength, but it's not sort of pushing forward. It's not brutal strength. It's like achieving the things that you want to achieve by gently doing it. So if this is your card today, if you've chosen number 11, what this card is telling you is that you will achieve what you want to over the weekend, but you don't need to push forward. So there's no need for you to sort of force is a little bit of too strong of a word, but there's no need to dominate the situation. You don't need to try really hard to get where you want to be, because this influence around you is basically, it's handing you it on a plate. You can literally do really well just by sitting back and letting it happen. So I hope that means that you're going to have a fantastic weekend with that one. Number 10, you have the Eight of Swords reversed. The Eight of Swords is a tricky card. It can often mean sort of a self-imposed restriction. So if you look at the illustration, always look at the illustration on cards. This shows a woman who is blindfolded and she's, excuse me, she's surrounded by swords. She's almost like hemmed in by these swords. When this card is reversed, it means that you're breaking from that situation. So it's like this weekend, you're going to feel like you can break free of a situation that's been quite restrictive for some time. If you can't identify that immediately, it might be worthwhile sort of looking at what is it that you feel is holding you back? What self-imposed prison have you put around yourself? And is it time to break free of that? Because the energy of this reversed card is with you this weekend. And it means that you'll find it easier to break away from that situation. And if you've been trying to make a decision about breaking away from a situation, it'll be easier to make this weekend. So if this is you, number 10, have a think about that and let me know if that resonates with you. Number 6. Number 6, you have the 8 of Wands, and I was just having a quick look at it there because I couldn't work out whether it was upright or reversed, and it's reversed. The 8 of Wands is about speed. If you look, these wands here are like coming in really quickly, like daggers. It's about something happening quickly. It's about decisions. It's about things coming to a head. When it's reversed, it's like a frustration, which means that you're perhaps feeling that your hands are tied. You're feeling that, you've got decisions to make, but you can't really, you feel stuck between a rock and a hard place. You can't decide which way to go. Basically, with this card being reversed, I think the advice for you this weekend is don't push those decisions. Unless it's absolutely essential, there's really no need for you to have to make those decisions this weekend. If you can put it off, because it feels like there's that turmoil of indecision around you. And sometimes it's really hard to see the facts and to make an informed decision that's going to sort of benefit you in the future when everything just feels like it's on top of you. So the advice of this card for you today, number 6, would be to put off making those decisions and wait until the energy dissipates a little bit. Could be to do with this quarter moon, because the quarter moon really does stir up some chaos for us. So just bide your time and hold back on that, number 6. Number 4. Number 4, you have the 10 of Cups reversed. Now, this could indicate that you're feeling that there's a little bit of trouble on the home front, and it could indicate that there could be issues with a relationship. It can mean that you're feeling sort of as if things haven't worked out as you hoped that they would in a particular relationship. When it's Cups, it's to do with emotions, so it's to do with relationships, very often to do with our significant other. And this 10 in its reverse position, it really shows that what you thought would happen, what you thought would be the culmination of a situation, has turned out not to be what you thought it would be. So the advice of this card would be to really assess your situation and to think about moving forward, what would be the best outcome for you? How would it work for you best in this particular situation? Because I feel like you have been almost putting all your eggs in one basket and sort of wishing for one particular outcome, and sort of almost being blinded to anything else and not seeing really what the actual true situation was, if that makes sense. So it's like, what you need to do is to focus on the actual events. So almost like a reality check. I mean that in a nice way. It's sort of take stock, do an audit, an emotional audit of this situation, and then decide what you want to achieve moving forward. And then perhaps take the first steps into making that happen this weekend. And I don't mean, you have to make a huge decision, but just start to evaluate what's going on. Okay, number 5. Number 5, you have the 4 of Pentacles reversed. 4 of Pentacles, when he's upright, this is a guy who likes to keep his money close to his chest. He's almost miserly. It's money coming to him. But when it's reversed, This card can mean loss. It can mean like money just running through your fingers, as it seems to. And it can mean that you're having some financial issues and finding it difficult to make ends meet. It's sort of, it feels like there's, some people seem to attract money and it just stays with them. Whereas others, and this includes me, you sort of get it in one hand and it's out the other side. So you never seem to actually catch up with things. And this is the energy of this card. It's like, you're on a treadmill of this financial thing and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. So if you're worrying about this financial issue or these financial issues this weekend, basically this card's advice, remember, every card is simply the obstacle of its actual true energy. So the advice of this card is to sort of tighten your purse strings, really have a good look at what you're paying out and what you're bringing in. Sit down, do a spreadsheet and like sort of work out what's working and what isn't. And maybe it's time to cut back on some, I know, those things that, you look at your bank account and all of a sudden realize that you're paying for subscriptions for channels and stuff like that you're not even watching. So maybe it's time to have a look at that and spend some time over the weekend actually reassessing your finances, because this is a strong indicator when it's reversed that money is slipping through your fingers. There's also the possibility that somebody could be challenging you financially. So it could be that someone is almost like I want to say theft, but it's more like deception. So it's like that sort of scammer energy. So just be aware, if double check all your financial sort of goings on, and just make sure that everything's legit. Number seven, you have the Five of Swords. Five of Swords is like, it's a really interesting card. So it's like over the weekend, you're going to feel like you've made your point. You've had a confrontation, or you've said your piece. And now the people involved have sort of stood back and they're walking away, but you're still really fired up. Okay. And what this card's advice is to you is that, okay, yeah, you have sort of won the battle. You've made your point really well. You've influenced the minds of others. And now it's fine to just relax and enjoy the spoils of the battle. That sounds a bit strange, but I mean, like, sit back and really think, okay, things have worked out for me really well here. It's time to think about how I move forward from this, because I feel that there's a situation that's been really intense. With swords, it's very often confrontation. It feels like something's been building up for a long time, and something had to be said or done. And now that it is, or if it's not just yet, it could be really, really soon. Then after that, over the weekend, it's time for you to relax. Just sit back a little bit and understand that that situation's dealt with and you can move forward now. Number eight, you have the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is emotional. So we're looking at relationships or how you're feeling at the moment. And this card, if you can see it there. So this card showed this guy, and he's sort of hot-footing it off to the mountains. What he's actually doing is he's thinking, right, you know what? I've done really well, but I'm off to look at new things. I've got new stuff to do. So basically what this is saying to you about the weekend is that what you've achieved recently has been fantastic. And it seems like you've come full circle. So you've started at one place and things were really difficult and you had to sort of push through and battle through some emotional events. But that's actually, that little cycle has come to an end now. And what it's time for you to do is hot-foot it off to the mountains and like sort of tackle something else. So it's telling you to put down what you were dealing with and move on to new emotional grounds. So it can indicate that there's a new relationship on the cards for you. And that could be, can be like an intimate relationship, but it could also be like a new friendship or something like that. But it's with cups, it's always an emotional thing. So it's something that you're emotionally invested in, but the time has come for you to go looking for something new. And the energy around this card is saying, yeah, you've got all your ducks in a row. Let's see what else is out there. And the final card, which is 7, 8, which is number 9. Okay, number 9, you have got the Hanged Man. This is a major arcana card, which means that it's a big, powerful energy. And the Hanged Man is about achieving success, but there will be sacrifice. So it's like you, over this weekend, it feels like you're going to feel, you're having to do a lot to achieve what you want to achieve, but it's going to be worth it. So if this is you, it might feel like, oh, this is far too much and I'm too stressed, or I've got to do too much, or nobody else is helping me with this. But basically, you're going to achieve your goals by pushing through this and waiting for that, because it's almost like an enlightenment. Because you think like the Hanged Man, he almost looks like he's in meditation, and he's achieving great things and he's finding enlightenment, but he's having to hang there and it doesn't look very comfortable. So it's like you're going to have to go through the pain, but the gain will be worth it. So just think about that this weekend, and it will all come out in the wash. Okay, I think that's all the cards done. So I hope you have a fantastic weekend ahead, whatever it is that you have planned. Remember that the moon is a quarter moon, so it could be a little bit chaotic. So just keep an eye on that. Have a beautiful time. Take care and stay weird.